More than 40 countries are set to hold major elections this year, and many experts worry that rapidly evolving artificial intelligence technologies could disrupt those votes. Just a few weeks ago, an apparent deepfake robocall that sounded like President Joe Biden told people not to vote in New Hampshire. Today, 20 major tech companies announced they are going to do their part to avoid becoming the story. Joining us now to talk through this new agreement are NPR's Shannon Bond, who covers how information travels, and Miles Parks, who covers voting. Hello, y'all.
Hi there.
Hi, Juana.
Shannon, I want to start with you. Tell us about this agreement. What's in it?
Well, it's aimed at AI-generated images, audio, and video that could deceive voters. So whether that's by impersonating a candidate doing or saying something they didn't, or misleading people about, when or how to vote. And the companies are agreeing to some pretty broad commitments here to develop technology to watermark AI content and to detect and label these kind of fakes. They're pledging to be more transparent about how their tools and platforms are being used. They want to educate the public about AI. Now, look, many of these actions are things some of these companies are already working on. And what's notable here, Juana, is that this agreement does not outright ban this kind of deceptive use of AI in elections.
Right. Okay, let's dig in a little bit here. Does this agreement actually bind these companies to do anything, or is this more of like a mission statement?
Yeah, this is a voluntary agreement, so it's not binding. And remember, just because companies create policies about AI doesn't mean they always effectively enforce them. Now, this agreement came together in just the past 6 weeks. And in many ways, it seems like it had to be pretty broad to get this many companies to agree. We spoke with Microsoft President Brad Smith today. He said that unity itself is an accomplishment.
We all want and need to innovate. We want and need to compete with each other. But it's also just indispensable that we acknowledge and address the problems that are very real, including to democracy.
And indeed, even as these companies, including Microsoft, are saying, they're on guard over risks of AI, they're also continuing to roll out even more advanced technology. Like just yesterday, OpenAI, one of the other companies that signed this agreement, they announced this tool that allows you to type in a simple text description to create a really realistic, high-definition video.
I mean, hearing you describe that, it's easy to see how a tool like that could be used to spread lies about voting, for example. Miles, over to you. How are elections officials feeling about AI right now?
They are thinking about it a lot. Last week, I was at a conference with some of the top election officials in the country. They don't want people to panic. Generally, they see AI as more of an extension of problems they were already working on. That's how Adrian Fontes, who's the Secretary of State of Arizona, that's how he put it to me when we were talking.
AI needs to be demystified. AI needs to be exposed for the amplifier that it is, not the great mysterious, world-changing, calamity-inducing, monstrosity that some people are making it out to be.
That said, there are a myriad of ways experts can imagine these tools threatening democracy, even beyond, I think, the most obvious use case, which is, making a fake video of a candidate saying something they didn't actually say.
Walk us through, if you can, some of those scenarios.
Yeah, I asked Smith from Microsoft about this, and he said specifically he's worried about people using AI to dub over real videos with fake audio. That could be a lot more convincing to people than creating a whole new video, but there's also a bigger picture worry that I heard percolating at this conference last week, that as more fake stuff is swirling online, the public will slowly lose trust in all information. That's one of the hardest aspects of this accord. The tech companies say they want the public to be more skeptical of what they see online, but that can lead to this feeling among people that nothing is true or real, and bad actors can capitalize on that too, by then being able to claim that real information is fake. It's called the liar's dividend. With more AI-generated stuff floating around, it's just going to become more and more common that candidates, when real bad information comes out about them, they can just say, no, that's fake, that's AI-generated.
I mean, we should just point out here that policing truth and lies online is really fraught these days. The political right in particular has cast these kinds of efforts as politically biased. Are tech companies worried about diving in here?
Yeah, I asked Brad Smith of Microsoft about this, and he and other tech executives involved in this, they say there is a clear distinction here between free expression, which they say they're all committed to, and using AI or other kinds of technology, in a way that is really deceiving, misleading voters, interfering with the election process. They're very much framing this fight as one against fraud.
I do think that we'll probably see companies jump in a lot harder against things that are explicit lies about how people vote. Think of like a video that claims election day is on Friday versus Tuesday. That's pretty easy to police. I think it's the content that raises doubts about the trustworthiness about elections that it's still an open question how companies are going to police that sort of content in 2024.
That's NPR's Miles Parks and Shannon Bond. Thanks to both of you.
Thanks, Juana.
Thanks, Juana.